Well, hi everyone, Chef Ron here, and we are just about ready to start our very first holiday special of the Chef Ron Lock Show. It's our Easter special, and we are excited to be bringing this to you. We have a fantastic holiday recipe for you with some other interesting things that are going to be going on the show today, and also some great information. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we leave you, as we always do, with the 3 E's. That's a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of education, and a little bit of enlightenment. And we have a 4th E for you too as well that we'll tell you about in the show itself. So with that, I am ready to go on. So let's start heating up the kitchen with the Chef Ron Lock Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Ron Lock. Well, hi everyone, Chef Ron Lock here. How's everyone doing out there today? All right! Woo-hoo! There you go. Oh, my. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Chef Ron Lock Show. I hope you enjoy your stay here today as we show you our very first holiday episode. Yeah, that's right. And it's Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. And we are so excited to be able to present this to you today. So, I hope that I will be able to present to you, as I always try to do every week, the 3 E's. A little bit of entertainment, a little bit of education, and a little bit of enlightenment with this episode. Oh, we got a 4th one as well. That's right. It's Easter. E. And this right here is the star of our show today, the colored Easter egg, which I will get to in just a moment and tell you why that is the star of our show, because it's going to be incorporated into our recipe that I will share for you here in just a second as well. But first, I'm sure a couple of you are probably wondering out there, why am I doing the introduction to the episode here? Usually one of the cast members, Lillian, Christopher, Grandma, Smokey, one of them are out here doing this initial introduction here with the ingredients and such, right? Well, it's Easter, it's a holiday, and I just told everybody, don't worry about filming this episode. I will go ahead and take care of everything this time. You all go ahead, enjoy Easter and the holidays with your family, friends, and loved ones. So they're all out there in parts unknown, enjoying their holiday, and I'm sure each of them convey their well wishes to each of you to have a safe and fun Easter. So from them to you, there you go. All right, so we've got an Easter special here to do today for you, and I want to talk a little bit about Easter. So we celebrate Easter in different ways, right? Some of us celebrate it in a Christian way by Christ rising. We celebrate the day with that. Some of us celebrate it in a paganistic way with Easter bunnies and Easter baskets and even the proverbial colored Easter egg. You know, and I was preparing this show today, and I was wondering, where did the Easter egg come from? Where did the colored Easter egg come from? So I did a little research. I thought I'd share it with you here, because I don't know if some of you realize where that came from. I always believe in educating you guys here each episode. So the colored Easter egg, in case you didn't know, came many centuries ago over in England with Edward I. Now, Edward I wanted to do something really special for Easter for his family, friends, and loved ones. So he came up with this plan to go ahead and get 450, he had a lot of friends apparently. I don't even know if I had 450 friends out there, but he did, I guess family and other people too, but he got 450 of these Easter eggs gold-leafed, colored in gold leaf, and gave them as gifts. And that is supposedly where the tradition began. And now since then, of course, many traditions around the world have incorporated colored Easter eggs into their own Easter celebrations. One of them I've noted, I was reading as well, was I thought rather interesting too, I had never heard of this, is over in Europe, apparently some cultures go ahead and do door-to-door collecting of Easter eggs, very similar to what the kids here do for Halloween for candy. I guess they have an Easter basket. They go around and people put eggs in the basket. It didn't get too specific on how they did it or what do they do with the Easter eggs after, you know. I can only imagine their mothers with 50 Easter eggs. I mean, how many hard-boiled eggs can you eat, right? I mean, really. So, you know, that would be an interesting thing to see what they do after. If anybody knows about that, right into the Chef Ron Locke Show, let me know. And I'll give an afterthought on that if I find out. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting culture thing as well of what people do for the colored Easter eggs on Easter. So anyway, in the United States, I know a lot of people do the annual Easter egg hunt. And I know I did that as well in my church organizations, and when I was at schools and different things, we would go ahead and participate in that. We had Easter carnivals and all kinds of things when I was growing up. But I also, in our household, I want to tell you this too, that my mom and dad had a ritual that we would get up in the Easter morning, we would eat breakfast, and then we would go ahead and hunt for Easter eggs. Now each of these colored Easter eggs, and we would have 12 of them, they would all have a different color and they would have a prize or a monetary number attached to them. So what you would do is you'd find the Easter eggs and then you would turn them into Mom and she would go ahead and give you the prize. So that was something we always looked forward to, that and finding the Easter basket. She always had Easter baskets hidden for us as well. So we always had a little fun on Easter, and then we would also of course observe the Christian traditions as well. And so we kind of incorporated both paganistic and in the Christian holidays all together, and it was always really well-rounded and fun. And I think most people do that as well today. So anyway, getting on to what we want to talk about here, the colored Easter egg, we are going to make a fantastic recipe. My mom would go ahead and take these Easter eggs that we would collect in that morning and make this fantastic pea salad. Now, what I've gone ahead and done is I've taken her pea salad and I've notched it up just a little bit. And what I call this recipe is my pea salad surprise. And what a lot of people will ask me is, okay, pea salad, that's great. Well, but what's the surprise, right? Well, you can only imagine what that surprise might be, right? And I can... No, not that kind of surprise. No. And this lady out here, she's like, ew! And I didn't hear what you said, and I don't really want to know what you said, but I can only imagine what you were thinking, and I don't even want to imagine, quite frankly. But whatever it is you're imagining, I'm sure it's not what you were ewing about. But anyway, you'll see, as everybody else will see here, as the show unfolds, what the surprise is in this pea salad that I'm going to be making for you. It makes a fantastic side dish or an appetizer as well. So I suppose at this point in the show we should probably get started. I should shut up and tell you what's going into our pea salad surprise that we're going to be making for you today. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, well, if you've got your Easter eggs here, like I have, you've got 12 colored Easter eggs. Now if you don't color Easter eggs or incorporate that into your holiday, just go ahead and boil up 12 regular eggs and set them aside. You'll be using these in just a moment, alright? Then we've got here one 24-ounce bag of frozen peas. Now, if you can't find a 24-ounce bag of frozen peas, they also come in 16-ounce bags. Just go ahead and buy two, split the second one up, and then you've got 8 ounces there for a medley of vegetables or another side you may want to do down the road, alright? You just want to get 24 ounces of frozen peas. Now you want to go ahead and thaw those peas out and wash them off in a colander and then put them in a bowl, alright? We'll get to that in a moment as why we're going to be doing all that. Next we have here 1.5 cups of loosely shredded cheddar cheese. That's mild cheddar cheese. Mild cheddar cheese. Say that fast 3 times. And we want to go ahead and use the loose or the more coarser shredded cheese. Don't get that real fine cheddar cheese, because what will happen is because of it being so fine in our mixing and everything else, it will get mushy, and you don't want to have this being real mushy because we've got a lot of other ingredients we're going to be incorporating into this that you want to have a little coarseness standing out. Now again, we'll show you that as we do this whole episode here. Next we've got a 1/4 cup of red onion, and the red will stand out really nicely in our presentation. We've got here a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, a 1/2 cup here of sour cream. You can go ahead and use a lighter version of that if you want to look at the fat content and keep that down. We've also got here a 1/2 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. You can use grated as well. We've got here a half a cup of celery that's been chopped. And lastly, we've got 3 tablespoons here of milk. You can go ahead and use a fat-free milk again as well and cut the fat content down as well. That are our ingredients. There's our ingredients right there for our pea salad surprise. We're going to take a little break here, and when we come back, we're going to go ahead and set this up and show you how to put all of these fantastic ingredients together into one fantastic Easter side dish for your Easter meal. All right, so you come right back. All right. Well, hi everyone, we're back, and we are going to go ahead and start assembling our pea salad surprise on our Easter special of the Chef Ron Lock Show here. So, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing you want to go ahead and do is get yourself a medium to large bowl. Now, we've already gone ahead and done that, and I've got my frozen peas, which are thawed at this point and washed, into this bowl here. And now we're going to go ahead and start incorporating some of the dry ingredients in this bowl and get that ready. What we're going to do next is we'll go ahead and incorporate the wet ingredients. But let's start with the dry here. We've got our peas here, our 24 ounces of peas. We're going to go ahead and take our celery and just dump that in. And then we're going to go ahead and take our 1/4 cup of onions, our red onions, chopped, put those in. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and take our 1½ cups of shredded cheddar cheese. I love this stuff. And this is what's going to really help to make this salad pop. And just go ahead and put that in. Now, we're just going to go ahead and leave that at that. Now let's go ahead and start incorporating the wet ingredients. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and incorporate the wet ingredients, and that'll be going into the dry ingredients. Let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to take the rest of these ingredients. We first have our sour cream here. Let's go ahead and add that into our medium-sized bowl. You want to get a medium-sized bowl for this, by the way. For the purposes of the show, we're going and using these presentation jars, these glasses. But ideally at home you would probably just get a bowl and mix all this stuff in as you were adding it in. You wouldn't actually put it in these little jars for presentation first and then add this in. So I think you understand what I'm saying there. Alright, next up here we've got our mayonnaise. Let's go ahead and put that in next. Our 1½ cup, like that. Alright, so, and I guess I don't need that for now. And then let's go ahead and add in our milk. That goes in next. Alright. Then we have our... Now, this is what one step that you need to do, obviously. We showed you the eggs in the ingredient presentation portion, the first segment of this episode. Now, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and collect the yolks and separate the eggs in half, because what we're going to do is we're going to make deviled eggs out of the pea salad. And you're going to see how this is all going to turn out. So that's the little surprise that I told you about that I would reveal as we got into this episode. Here are my yolks right here. You want to get a ½ cup of yolk. That's going to be roughly about 4 egg yolks, 4 to 5, 4 to 6, depending on the size of eggs you're using. But get about a ½ cup. And you can basically do whatever you wish with the other 8 that you'll have left, because you're going to have a dozen eggs. What you'll obviously want to do is cut the eggs in half, because again we're going to be making deviled eggs out of these. So here's my egg yolks here. I'm going to put this in as well. Alright. Then we have our Parmesan cheese. Let's go ahead and add that. And what I'm going to do here, let me grab another spoon. I see my crew didn't supply me with all my essential utensils here that I needed. Some of them they did, not all of them though. So you're just going to go ahead and mix this all up, just like this. Real simple. See how easy, this is all, you're going to see how easy, how simple and easy that this recipe really is. It's just fantastic. And it's a great way to go ahead and utilize these colored Easter eggs that you end up leaving. I'm not a huge boiled egg fan. I can eat maybe 1 or 2, and I don't know. I've just never been a real big boiled egg eater. And some people are. So I love finding ways to use boiled eggs and other ingredients. There you go. there's our wet ingredients right there. Now, let's go ahead and incorporate the wet with the dry. Alright, so now we have the wet ingredients. Let's go ahead and put those into the dry. I've got my wet ingredients right here. Go ahead and get yourself a spatula or a spoon. I use the wooden spoon because what we're going to be doing is folding the dry ingredients into the wet once we put these into our bowl here in just a second. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Alright, and let's see here, just like that. Just incorporate all that and make sure you get as much all of it as you can. It worked hard to get all this mixed up and put in here, and this is all the goodness. This is the real goodness that's going to make this pea salad phenomenal. And this pea salad would be phenomenal on its own. And my mom, this is my mom's recipe, by the way, she had the most fantastic pea salad. People just loved it. But what's going to even make it more phenomenal is when we put this into the deviled egg format. And I'm going to show you that in just a second here. Alright, so just fold everything in, alright? And just kind of, you want to obviously mix it around a little bit. But you know, you're dealing with peas. This is going to get a little messy too. I mean, things are going to fly out of this bowl. So, excuse me if my kitchen gets a little messy here while I'm showing you how to do this. This is very simple. I know this is very 101 for most of you that are watching this. This is the folding aspect. You don't want to go ahead and get crazy with this because you want your cheese, you want your cheddar cheese to keep its form. You don't want it to get mushy, and you want your peas to stay formed as well. If you go crazy with this, oh my goodness, what will happen is you will end up with an amazingly mushy salad because all of your peas will get mushed up, your cheese will get all mushed up, and then in the end what's going to happen is you will end up with nothing but a big parade mess. A parade mess. It will just look horrible. So, that's what we're doing here. Okay, you see what I'm talking about? Things just flying out of the bowl. Don't worry about that, alright? That's what kitchens are all about, right? We're supposed to get messy once in a while, you know? I've been criticized. I've had a couple people tell me that my kitchen looks too clean when I'm filming here. And I do clean up during breaks and such like that for the next segments, but for all of you out there who think that my kitchen is too clean, well, things are flying around here out of the bowl. So I hope you're happy about that. So, anyway. Alright, there you go. That's what you end up with. You don't want to mix this up too much because you don't want to break everything down. But, right there, that's what you end up with. Let's see if I can get a camera shot of how that looks. Camera, can you get that? Camera guy? Okay. There is what our pea salad looks like right now. And this would be normally served as a traditional pea salad. But we're, again, going to notch this up a little bit and make a fabulous pea salad surprise using our halved boiled eggs that we have, alright? So, before we do that, we're going to go ahead and show you a mailbag segment. We're going to go ahead and roll one of those right now. Now, mailbag, if you've watched our show before, you know what that's all about. One of our cast members or myself gets asked a question from one of you out there, one of the public, that wants to know something about one of us. So, let's go ahead and see who is our recipient of this week's mailbag and what question is being asked of them. Let's go ahead and show you right now. Mailbag. Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Mailbag. Chef Ron here, and I'm going to be answering a question from one of our viewers who wrote in, and his name is Carl M. And Carl's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now Carl asked me, he goes, hey Chef Ron, he goes, what is your favorite Easter memory? Well, I have a lot of them actually. I have had some fantastic Easters and some crazy Easters and some kind of not so great Easters too. But the one that kind of sticks in my mind the most is I think around 7 years old, and we used to have an Easter egg hunt. And during that Easter egg hunt, we would go and find these colored eggs and then turn them into my parents for prizes. So one year I decided that I didn't want to give one of the eggs up because I thought it was really, really cool. It was a kind of a real decoupage-y, drawn up, painted up kind of an egg. We got real crazy one year with Easter eggs and did some real wild stuff, and I wanted to keep it kind of as a memento. So I took the egg and I hid it. I remember my mom was asking what happened to the egg, and none of us could find it, and she was kind of freaking out and looking around for it because she thought, you know, it's going to rot, right? It's going to smell somewhere, and they kind of didn't remember where they hid them all. So I remember that she had to go try to find it. Well, little did she know that I already knew where it was because I had it hidden in my sock drawer in my bedroom. Well, a couple of weeks went by, and I'd kind of forgotten about it, and I remember coming home from school, and she was waiting for me at the door, and she asked me to come into the bedroom. And I saw that my sock drawer was open, and I already knew I was busted. I knew at that point what was going on. She looked at me, I looked at her, and then she produced the egg. Luckily the egg hadn't cracked or anything, it hadn't started to smell or anything yet, but she wasn't all too happy that I held out on that egg, especially when she had to go try to find it, and I had it the whole time. So little lessons as you grow up about right and wrong and doing the right thing. That wasn't such a good thing, but it was done for a good reason because I really wanted to remember that Easter, and I really wanted that egg as a memento. So as a child, it was innocent, but obviously it wasn't the best thing to hold out on your parents like that. But anyway, trust me, I never did anything like that again after that incident. I can assure you of that. My parents saw to that. I'll leave it at that. But at any rate, that's probably one of the most memorable Easter stories that I have that I could share with you, Carl. But that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. If you want your question asked on Mailbag, if you want to ask one of our cast members or myself, feel free to ask us. Just write us at crl@chefronlock.com. Again, that's crl@chefronlock.com, and in the subject heading just put mailbag and ask your question. And if we pick your question, we will go ahead and answer it here on a future segment of Mailbag. Alright, so that's it for this segment of Mailbag. Let's get back on with our holiday edition of the Chef Ron Lock Show. Well, hi everyone, we are back. We're going to go ahead and show you how to finish assembling this pea salad surprise that we're doing for you here on this episode of the Chef Ron Lock Show, this Easter episode of the Chef Ron Lock Show. And now you can see I have in front of me here, I have an egg plate, and that's just pretty standard. I think most people have these egg plates at home. If you don't, it's a really nice presentation piece. And it's really something you don't use all that much, but it's really nice when you want to do special events, special dinners, things like that. So that's what we're going to be doing for you today on this. And we also have one of our halved hard-boiled eggs, and we're just going to fill one of these up for you. I'm going to fill the rest of them up on a break before we come back, and I will show you the final presentation of how this all looks. But for now, let's go ahead and show you how to do this. Before I do that, I've got my sleeves rolled up, if you've noticed. We're ready to work. Now, you also, and I hadn't mentioned this earlier, and I try to mention this on every episode, you want to make sure anytime you're working in the kitchen that your hands are clean and your environment is clean, all right? Now I'm going to be working with this egg here, and I just want to double check and make sure. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands right now real quick. All right. Excuse me for a second there. All right. There I am. All right. And we're going to go ahead and get started right now. So the first thing whoa. Oh my God, no. This woman out in the audience here, she just asked me if I was going to use my hands to fill the egg with the pea salad. And no, I'm not going to do that. No. I'm going to be handling the egg, but I'm actually going to be using this spoon right here, this teaspoon, to fill the egg with. So no, I'm sorry. Although wouldn't it be funny if I actually went and did this? I went and just threw my hands in there and threw it into the egg. Now that would be some serious fierce cooking show stuff there. I don't know. That might be a cooking show on a whole nother level, you know, angry cooking or something like that, you know. But no, we're going to be using this spoon for that. But anyway, so you're funny. I love it. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go ahead and take my halved egg here, and all you're going to do, this is just really simple, just go ahead and take a spoonful, get a good spoonful, a good representation of your pea salad here, and you're just going to go ahead and just fill your cavity here with your pea salad, like I'm doing here. Now you see, I'm making a little mess in the middle here, but not to worry, because we're going to be filling that middle up with something here in just a bit, and you'll see that it's not a big deal. And you just go ahead and set that back down on your plate, and you're good to go. Simple as that. Alright, so you know what, we're going to go ahead and finish assembling our presentation plate here with the remaining eggs and a little surprise in the middle. And when we come back, we're going to show you our final presentation, and I get to go ahead and take a bite of this fantastic pea salad surprise that we're doing for you here on our Easter special of the Chef Ron Lock Show. So stick around, we'll be right back.
On the next episode of the Chef Ron Lock Show.
Oh, this looks interesting. This is 1 tablespoon of oregano. 1 tablespoon of oregano right there. Now, you know, this looks like something I used to roll and smoke in my old days, in my bad biker days, I guess you'd say. I don't do drugs and stuff now. I don't need to do that. I live a clean life. Anyway, that looks like one tablespoon of oregano. All right. What do I know? There is nothing wrong with crock pot cooking. Let me tell you. You know what? I will bet you, people like Paula Dean and Rachel Ray and a lot of the other food channel and cable chefs out there won't tell you this, but I bet you they do some crock potting themselves. So let me tell you, it's all good. You can be a cook. You can be We are back, and we are here to do the final presentation of our pea salad surprise on our Easter special of the Chef Ron Lock Show here. And I'm going to go ahead and walk over here and show you right here what our final presentation looks like. See, now here you go. You've got our halved hard-boiled eggs stuffed with our fantastic pea salad recipe. And what we've done is we've gone ahead and added in some of the pea salad in the middle, because once these eggs are eaten, I guarantee you they will be eaten quickly when you put them out. You'll have left your pea salad. Now you can eat the pea salad as a side, or you can lay out an assorted supply of crackers and such and use it that way too as an hors d'oeuvre, an additional hors d'oeuvre. So this is a very versatile recipe, many different ways you can use this, and it works so well when you've got those colored Easter eggs that you just don't want to have boiled eggs day after day after day. Perfect way to use them all up right there. So with that, let me go ahead and give one of these a try here and just make sure that it is matched up to what I am used to when I make this every Easter. All right, got my napkin, here we go. I get a thumbs up. That's amazing. That pea salad is so good. You know what you taste. I always like to tell you what I taste when you eat it. The first things that hit you are the cheeses. Then you taste the peas. Then you taste the onion. The celery comes after. And then you're infusing that all with that sour cream and mayo combination. Oh my goodness. What a fantastic recipe. This is a great way to utilize, again, your colored eggs or hard-boiled eggs and make a fantastic appetizer or a side dish with it as well. There you go. That is our recipe. Pea salad surprise on the Chef Ron Lock Show. All right, that closes our special Easter edition of the Chef Ron Lock Show. First, again, I want to say Happy Easter to each and every one of you out there. I hope you have a fantastic and safe Easter. Enjoy it wherever you are or whatever you do. And from the Chef Ron Lock Show, this is Chef Ron Lock saying to each of you out there, until next time, let's start heating up that kitchen and let's get cooking. We'll see you next time.